There are two different reasons for drinking wine: when you're thirsty to cure it, and when you're not thirsty to prevent it. This is how writer Tom Peacock expressed his love for wine in his writing. As social creatures, we like to drink wine on several occasions: when we're with our families, with friends, at a barbecue or celebration. It tends to lighten the atmosphere and add laughter to the room and to conversations. So during this speech, I'm going to tell you about various types of wine, including red and white wines, the process of producing wine, also how you would select a certain type of wine you may want, as well as pairing it with different types of foods. So we all know that wine is made from grapes, but exactly how, we may not be sure. These grapes are first crushed, with or without the skins, depending on whether or not you would like red wine or white wine, and I will tell you a little bit more about this later. After the grapes are crushed, they are left to ferment, and there also a disinfectant is added. This will neutralize any contaminants that may have gotten in with the grapes after they were picked, such as bacteria or mold. So the disinfectant is added. They're left to ferment in steel vats or wooden barrels. After they're left to ferment for a little bit, they're also filtered for any leftover skins or stems that are left in the wine. After this, they're left to mature even more in wooden barrels. There are 4 different types of wine: white wine and red wine, and also rose or blush, and champagne. Now, you may think that white wine is only made from green grapes and that red wine is made from red grapes. However, this is not necessarily true. Although red wine cannot be made from green grapes, white wine can be made from red grapes. However, the skin is taken off the grapes. It is the skin of the grapes that adds a little bit of color to the wine. There's also a component called tannin that is added to wines that give it distinct flavor. So what is tannin? It's a natural preservative. It's mostly found in red wine, but can also be found in white wine. It gives the wine an ability to age gracefully. The longer it's left with the grapes, the skin, the stems, the more tannic a wine is. And the more tannic a wine is, the more it makes your cheeks pucker when you drink it. So, you know how wine is made, but how do you go about tasting it? There are 4 different steps to tasting wine. The first is looking at the color. Color is important because it can reveal the age of the wine. Next, swirl the wine in the glass. This can reveal a hearty aroma, but then allows you to sniff the wine. What does it smell like? Does it smell fruity? Does it smell earthy, nutty, or floral? And then you'll taste the wine. Let it roll around in your mouth for a little bit. Determine does it taste like. Is it full in body or is it light? And does the finish fade out nicely? So after you tasted the wine, there's another distinction between types of wine that's set of red and white. This is whether it's sweet or dry. Wine can be sweet, like Pinot Noir or Riesling. It also can be dry. An example of that is Merlot. It also can have a bolder complex, like Cabernet, or soft Merlot, like Pinot, is sometimes preferred. Like I said, it can be sweet, like Riesling as well. Now, when you're selecting wine, there are certain things you should be looking for, and I like to call these the 3 P's. Price: what are you willing to pay for wine? Now, you are able to get a good wine for cheap. It doesn't necessarily have to be expensive. So think about what you're willing to spend, and you don't necessarily have to spend a lot. Also, preference. Where are you drinking the wine? Are you trying to explore new flavor options? You might want to go for a bolder wine. Or are you having a dinner party? You may not necessarily know what everyone likes. So therefore, you might want to be safe with your wine choices. Also, pairing with dinner. The key is what ingredients are in the meal. Is it red meat or white meat? What are the herbs that are included? Sometimes white wines go better with lighter flavored meal, and red wines go better with heartier meals. Also, when you're serving these wines, make sure the more inexpensive ones are slightly chilled. Both red and white, and other ones can be served at room temperature. So an example of serving wine with meals. Chardonnay, a white wine, is usually best served with like roast veal, scallops, or salmon, and Merlot most of the time with lamb shank, grilled duck, and also with walnuts. Can be good. So although many of us do enjoy wine on different occasions and social gatherings, we may do so blindly without knowing exactly what we were drinking and whether we could be enjoying a different type of wine. So knowing more, like whether we enjoy red wine or white wine, sweet or dry, can make the experience more enjoyable. So I ask you, next time you go to a wine and spirits and pick out a wine when you're making dinner or having friends over, are you going to know what to pick out?